What's up, y'all? Man, let me tell you something. What's up, y'all? What up? So they are introducing Gorr the Godbutcher and the Fantastic Four into the MCU. The hype is real. The hype is real. Mariah, the hype is real. Is the hype not real, Mariah?
It's very real.
It's very real. I'm very excited, right? Like, as soon as I heard the news, I was upstairs laying in bed with my girl, and like the news dropped. I was looking on Twitter, and people were like, Christian Bale is playing Gorr the Godbutcher in the MCU, and I was like, what? And then like there were a whole bunch of other announcements where it was like they announced the Fantastic Four movie, and John Watts is the one directing it, right? John Watts directed Spider-Man, and I was like, so you're telling me they announced Gorr the Godbutcher and the Fantastic Four are going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Son. Look, here's the thing, man. Let me close the store real quick. Let me close the store. Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. All right, all you people out there who don't read comics, y'all are not ready. Y'all are not ready for the greatness that is gonna befall the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's start with Gorr the Godbutcher, right? Let's start with Gorr the Godbutcher, right? This dude is an absolute monster, right? So Gorr the Godbutcher was this guy who was on this world where it was like a really, really harsh environment, and like his tribe would pray to the gods all the time, and like the gods would never answer, and like he lost his wife and his child and all that kind of stuff. It was a really crappy existence, right? So like these two gods fell from the sky, one of which was this guy named Null, who like defeated the Celestials basically at some point along the line. But he had this sword called the All-Black Necro Sword. So Gorr the Godbutcher, in being pissed off at like the fact that the gods always ignored them, decides to go on a crusade against the gods. So he takes the All-Black Necro Sword and then like rechristens himself Gorr the Godbutcher, and then like just goes across the universe killing every god he can find, right? So he arrives on Earth like a few thousand years ago. He fights Thor for the first time, beats his ass, like beats the hell out of Thor, right? I mean, just not even in hell would you see a massacre like what happened when Gorr the Godbutcher beat the hell out of Thor. You know what I'm saying? Like he was not prepared, man. That's all it was. So Thor gets just readily crushed by Gorr, right? And then Gorr just vanishes again. So then like Thor in the present day ends up facing off against Gorr, and I think he loses. And so what you end up finding out is that Gorr had actually, like, in the future, Gorr had like conscripted all these gods that he didn't kill to his cause in order to create this god bomb, because he was basically going to detonate this bomb in the time stream and kill all the gods at once, right? From the past, the present, and the future. So it takes Thor from the past, Thor from the present, and Thor in the future, right? Old King Thor, who like defeated Galactus. It took like all of them working together to defeat Gorr. And then it all came down to modern day Thor, who takes the All-Black Necro Sword and 2 Mjolnirs, and then he overpowers Gorr and then manages to beat him, right? Guy had to wield 2 hammers to beat Gorr, man. 2 hammers, right? Like it's nuts, man. Like dude, here's the thing though. Gorr the Godbutcher was like the coolest villain ever, right? You guys ever get a chance, there's a video on my channel here on Comics Explained. It's basically Jason Aaron's Thor God of Thunder. We cover the whole story arc with Gorr, right? And it's like the coolest thing. It's just this amazing story arc. But like he's just such like an amazing and awesome character. But this is a guy who just crushed Thor like multiple times. And I don't mean just like, oh man, you know, like he got a couple hits. It's not like a high school fight, right? Where like, you know, you got like one more hit than the other guy, so like you won. No. This is like this was Thor never had a chance, man. That's what that was. Like Thor never like in the first time they fought, Thor never had a chance, right? Like it was and then we got the Fantastic Four, right? Here's the thing. If we get Fantastic Four, we need Jonathan Hickman's we need Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, son. I want to see Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. I'm tired of seeing like those terrible Fox Fan Four stick. I'm tired of seeing those stupid Fox Fantastic Four movies. I want to see Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, son. Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. Here's why Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four is so cool, right? So Reed Richards has this son named Franklin, and Franklin is like this reality warping kid, right? You'll see. I'll tell you. Man, let me tell you something. I'll tell you something in a minute, right? How powerful this kid is, right? Like, I'm sorry I'm so excited, people. But it is it's an exciting time, right? So here's what happens, right? So like Franklin Richards, when he was younger, Reed Richards put these mental blocks in place so he couldn't use his powers. Why did Reed Richards do that? Because there was a story where Franklin Richards he was playing with a Rubik's Cube, and then there was a TV in the background. It was something like, why don't you grow up? So Franklin Richards used his like universal wide reality warping powers to turn himself into Jesus, and then like just started running amok, right? So like once they got him back to normal, he literally he looked like Jesus, man. Like he's all dressed in white with like this long hair. Like he looks like Jesus, right? Like he looks like Marvel's Jesus. So Reed is like, okay, my kid's too powerful. We got to keep this kind of under check, under control, right? So you go into Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, and like this grown guy appears out of nowhere, right? Like this grown man, like just shows up in the Baxter building out of nowhere, and like starts making his way towards a kid's rooms, right? To Franklin Richards' room, and Valeria Richards, she's the daughter of Reed and Susan of Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic. She's like super smart. She's like the third smartest person in the world. But he starts making his way towards her room, and like the Fantastic Four start freaking out, right? They're like, man, dude, what do we do, man? Like, what do we do? You know, there's this weird man who broke into our house and he's heading towards our kids' rooms, right? Like, you know, any responsible parent, we go with guns and like we probably shoot him, you know, because whatever. And so like so they go running towards this guy. This guy looks at him and just like creates this force field that they can't get past, right? Susan Storm, she was able to create force fields that could withstand the blast of Celestials, and she couldn't even get through it, right? So like this guy was obviously not messing around. So he grabs Franklin, and then he like whispers something to him or something like that, and then Franklin drops on the ground and passes out, right? And then he says something to Valeria and then leaves, right? So you get like this whole crazy story going on where like Reed Richards goes to this place called the Nexus, where it's like all these alternate reality versions of like Mr. Fantastic. Like one has the Infinity, like I think 3 of them had the Infinity Gauntlets, and then like there's some like their powers are switched. So like Reed Richards has the power of like the Silver Surfer or something like that. Well, what they do is they solve the problem of everything, right? Like that's their whole goal. Like they just fix problems. So like there's a whole universe out there where all they do is grow food. And then they just like take it to universes where food is not that prevalent, right? It's like the coolest thing ever, right? So one of the Reeds ends up going to this alternate reality where the Celestials went crazy and basically forced everybody to worship them as gods. And like when he came back to the Nexus, the Celestials followed him back. So it's like, oh dude, this is kind of crazy, man. Like this is wild. So like the Celestials break into this whole place, right? Just like this guy's like, dude, they follow me. And they're like, oh my God, we gotta run, right? So like the Infinity Gauntlets don't work because the Infinity Gauntlets only work in their own universes, and they're not inside their own universes. They're in like this kind of hub where like all the universes connect, right? You would think it works. It doesn't work. So like these Celestials just come pouring in, right? And just start killing everybody. So like Reed Richards from the main Marvel universe is like, dude, man, we gotta get out of here, right? So like he bails, he goes and grabs some giant gun, comes back, and then like they fight the Celestials off. And like for the most part, the day is saved. And it's like, cool, all right, this is awesome. So then like what you end up finding out is the Celestials followed Reed Richards to the main Marvel universe. And so there's this point where like Reed Richards meets with Galactus, right? And Galactus is like, dude, we need to talk about your son. We need to talk about Franklin because his powers have woken up again, right? That's something that's like in the background. Franklin Richards' powers wake back up, and Galactus is legitimately scared. He's like, dude, your son's powers have woken back up, man. And like, it scares the hell out of me. So it's like, damn, son, right? Like Galactus is Galactus, man. Galactus is afraid of this guy. So it's like, okay, like something's gonna happen with Franklin. So the Mad Celestials followed Reed back. Well, then like Valeria, their daughter from the future, shows up and tells Susan Storm, hey, like things are gonna pop off. Just so you know, like things are gonna get really dire. When that happens, have hope. The day will be safe. So you're like, okay, cool. So anyway, so the Mad Celestials show up to Earth with the intention of like killing Reed Richards and then like subjugating that whole universe. And so like Reed summons Galactus to Earth, and like Galactus faces off against And like Galactus faces off against all the Celestials, and then like ends up being defeated, right? The Celestials like merge into one big Celestial, and like so he ends up being defeated, and so it's just kind of like, damn, son, right? Like Galactus is basically dead, like they kill him, right? So it's like, damn. So like they you know, like Reed Richards invents this weapon called like Saul's Anvil, which is designed to like just shoot energy at Celestials and destroy them, and like it ends up like he fires it off once, which breaks the Celestials back into their 3 parts again, and then like while it's charging up, the Celestials attack, right? So like Susan Storm is sitting there like holding her force field up. She's got her shield up, and like the Celestials are just like hammered, like they're just like, you know, hammering down hellfire, right? Just like boom, boom, boom. boom, right? There's just, it's like the end times, right? Like they're just hammering down shit on Susan Storm. And she's just sitting there holding it as best she can. And then like the words of her daughter come up, right? Like when things are at their darkest, like have hope and the day will be saved. And like up in the sky, this light comes out of nowhere. And it's like, dude, who in the hell is that? And it's Franklin Richards and Valeria from the future. And what you end up finding out is that Franklin Richards from the future went to the past to wake his powers up, right? So like he's the man that showed up in the Fantastic Four's building. And so like he'd been teaching himself, his younger self, how to use his abilities. And it's like, damn, son, like so what he ends up doing is his younger self just kept all his power, didn't really use it all, but he just kind of stored it all up. He combines it with the power of his older self, right? So like adult Franklin Richards is the guy who's fighting. He goes to Galactus, like, it's the most amazing moment ever in the history. It's the most amazing moment ever in the history of comics. Like literally Franklin like takes this ball of energy out of him and like throws it into Galactus and he's like, rise! And he's like, to me, my Galactus! And like resurrects Galactus from the dead and like makes him his herald. And it's like the most beast shit ever, right? So like Galactus is like fighting these Celestials and like Franklin Richards is fighting the Celestials. They managed to destroy him, right? And it's just like, damn, you know? And so it's like the most beast thing ever, right? We need that in the MCU, man. Like, tell me that does not sound legit. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. But anyway, it's awesome news, right? I'm probably never going to be able to sleep again now because I'm super excited. I got myself so hyped up. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be super exciting. So anyway, guys, we're going to bring this video to an end. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.